Welcome back to Let's Make a Game. This is going to be quite a short video. In the last video, I spoke about various bad habits, one of which was having too much world building and backstory before the player got to make any choices, because the game should be primarily about the choices that the player makes for their character and the consequences of those choices. And I thought that some people might have problems thinking of ways to start a story, if not with the background. And so I thought I would read some items from this quite good list that I found. It's from a tabletop role-playing game called the Cheap and Cheesy Fantasy Game by Vincent Baker. A link to that should be in the description. You can download it for free. But one of the things that it's got is opening lines, which are possible ways to start an adventure. And I'm going to read a selection of 5 of them. Number 1, you are at last able to evade pursuit, but only by ignoring the superstitions and making your way deeper into the ruins. 2, the ship is wrecked in a terrible storm, and in all only you survive to reach the forbidding shore. Number 3, despite your best ministrations, the snakebite proves fatal, and you find yourself without a guide. Number 4, unfortunately, word of your boast reaches the young queen, and she makes it known that she will be quite disappointed if you do not give her the legendary gem Balaam's Eye as a wedding gift. And number 5, in eerie silence, the tower falls behind you. You have faced its dangers and emerged with the infamous relic Eofair's mirror. Now all you have to do is... ... Now, obviously copyright applies. I wouldn't use those exact words, but you can see, I think, how any of those beginnings are good ways to get into a story where the player is going to be making choices. Those choices are going to have particular results, and if there is world building and if there is background, you can reveal that world building and background as part of the story as it goes on, rather than having it as a big sort of info dump. Obviously, all of these examples are intended for a fantasy game. The source game is called the Cheap and Cheesy Fantasy Game, but I think it would be pretty easy to use these in other genres. Perhaps the ship would be a spaceship if you're doing science fiction, but I think any of those could be science fiction. I think any of those could be horror. I think any of those could be a sort of adventure set in the modern world or in some particular point in real history. I think any of those could be romance, really. If your ship is wrecked in a terrible storm and what you find on the island is, a sort of subject of romance, then it can be a romance as well. So hopefully that will be useful for some of you, and I hope that you will tune in next time.